everyone, and welcome back to my crafting world. This is Anna. Today I am going to make a tea bag dispenser. Now this is my prototype, guys, but I wanted to see how it was going to turn out and if I could make it easy for you guys in case you want to make one. So this is what we will be making today, and as you can see, it's got some tea bags in there. This is my lid. Now I'm going to do a couple of different, a couple of things just a tad bit different. This opening, this is 1 inch. So instead of 1 inch, I'm going to make it at a 1/2 inch. And then on my lid, instead of a 1/2 inch, I'm going to make it 1 inch on the rim of the lid. I used some beads here for the little feet. You don't have to put feet on it, but you know I like my stuff with feet, so I went ahead and put some beads on there. And then for the top, this is just foam and a little finial on the top. Again, you don't have to do that, but that's the way I kind of liked mine. I am going to use the bird waltz, and I have a few sheets of these left over, so I thought I would go ahead and use this because I love it. And my solid colored cardstock is going to be this pink. I think it matches very well. So for your chipboard pieces, you need a piece that is 3 3/4 by 3. That is the bottom. 6 by 3 1/4. That is one of the sides. So you need 2 of those. And then the back side is 6 by 3. And then the front side is 5 1/2 by 3. So what I'm going to do first is cover these with the pink paper. And remember, you can get all these supplies at ASC Craft Supply. And I'm going to leave you the link in the description box so that you can go out there and check them out. And don't forget to use my coupon code MWC, which stands for My Crafting World, Anna 10. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at 7 by 12, and then I'm going to join the 2 pieces. I'm going to glue these down, and I will show you, except for this one, I will show you before I wrap it. I'm going to show you what pieces go where. So let me cut this down and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I joined my 12 by 12. I cut it down to 7 and left the 12 alone, so it's 7 by 12. And I joined both pieces, and this is my join right here, and I put that on the back. This is the back of the dispenser. So the way I put it down was 6 3/4, that's one side, 6 by 3, that's the back, and 6 by 3 1/4, that's the other side, and 5 1/2 by 3, that is the front. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and cover this as if we were going to make a mini album, but we need to make a few cuts before we do that. So right here, this is, I think, the only trickiest part. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut from this piece right here. I'm going to cut, let me cut this other piece right here. I'm going to cut 1/2 inch, and I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch for my tab or flap, however you want to call it. But I'm not going to go all the way. I'm just going to go up to right here, because I would rather cut again than you know, have to take off. I mean, I can't put on. So I'm going to line my ruler with the end of this, and I'm going to cut right there, right here, okay, right there. And this is where I will go in and finish cutting this side. Okay, so that comes off. Now I'm going to do, let me cover this up before I cut myself. I am going to miter my corners the way I always do when I'm going to wrap something, okay? So there we go, just as if we were going to wrap a mini album. I am going to cut this at a little angle like that, okay? So that is going to come up this way. Now this is going to go up this way. We can cut this one, This one's a regular corner, okay? Now this, we're going to cut this up to right here, okay? Just cut down. And then if you want, you can take a little angle out of that, okay? This is going to fold up. This is going to fold in, but we're gonna wait to get to that. That's gonna be at the end because I feel like that's the trickiest part. So I'm going to go ahead and fold all my edges here. And I am going to just kind of fold this one up a little bit, but not all the way. So I'm gonna glue this side. You do not glue this side. Your short side, do not glue that one yet. We're gonna glue this one, and this one, okay? Not this one. So you can either do it with tape or you can do it with glue. It's totally up to you. Actually, I think I'm gonna use glue all the way around just because the glue will allow me to work with it a little bit longer than the tape. It's more forgiving than the tape. Okay, so we have our edges folded in and glued. So these are the three edges that are done so far. Now this is just a little tricky, but it can be done, okay? So these are gonna fold, of course. So let's go ahead and fold so we'll know where our fold lines are at. Okay, so we need to glue this one down, but we also need to glue this one. So this one we're gonna fold this way, okay? So what I'm gonna do to that one is I'm going to cut from, actually I'm gonna cut straight across right at this line right here, right where this bottom of the 5.5 by 3 ends. So I am just gonna cut straight across just up until this line right here, okay? So I'm lining that up, and then I'm going to make sure it's cut all the way down, okay? And now that is what we are going to fold over. So we're gonna fold that this way, okay? We're just gonna cover that tiny little corner right there, and we're gonna leave that the way it is. So let's put a tiny bit of glue right there, and I have glue all over my fingers. A little bit of glue right there. And let me go ahead and fold that tiny little corner in just so it doesn't protrude. And then we're gonna I'm gonna fold it over. I'm gonna hold it there for a second because it's so small that we need to make sure that it adheres. And I am going to burnish that little corner. Okay, so that's what we have so far, okay? I know that looks a little funny, but it won't once we assemble our box. So we're going to fold this one up, and we're gonna go ahead and glue that down. So let me glue that down. And again, do not glue this down. So let's glue that down. Now, okay, so we've got our pieces glued down. Now we're gonna cover the inside. Okay, so this one is 10.5 by 5 3/4. This one, guys, is gonna go right here. Okay, and then right there. And then this one is cut at 5 1/4 by 2 7/8. So this one will go right here, okay? But we need to trim this one down just a little bit. So determine where about you are going to place your designer paper. It's gonna go about right here. So I took my pencil And I went ahead and I got as close as I could to this edge, because remember, this cover right here is really, really short. So I went right up to that cover, and then this one is going to go right here. So I went ahead and put a little pencil mark right there. So we're going to cut out from here to here, as straight as we can. From there, to there. Okay, we just need to take out that little notch right there, and that is where this is going to go, right here. And then this one we will eventually glue right there. Okay, so I think this one can go up just a little bit. We will eventually glue that one right there. Okay. Okay guys, so before I glue this one down, I'm going to put score tape along this end and then along the bottom. Okay, it needs to be at least 1/2 inch. So I'm going to flip it over this way. So remember, I need tape on this side and then along the bottom. So I'm going to put it along the bottom. And then again along this side right here. So this is that side that I'm talking about. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that these two tapes do not stick to. I need to make sure that when I have to bring this tape up, nothing's going to hinder that, you know, the rising of that tape backing. Okay, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put glue on everything except the tape. And then I'm going to glue it down right there. Okay. So let me put glue on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and furnish those lines in. I'm going to bend those. See, it gets really thick. And these, they'll go down once we finish this up. Okay. Now this will have to slide. That's why I said you need minimum. You need that 1/2 inch right there. We're going to put glue on this side, and we are going to tuck that in right there. And we're going to adhere that down, and then we're going to release that tape and tape in the inside. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put glue on this end, and I'm going to tuck it in here and then remove that tape. Plenty of glue in there, and like this end has tape. It won't hang or anything. So I'm going to tuck that in. I'm going to make sure that this is straight on the top, even on the top. And then once you think it's stuck, go ahead and flip it on its side. Take your bone folder and make sure that that is adhered properly. There we go, guys. Now all we have to do to this side is remove that tape, the tape backing. Where am I? I'm sorry, I'm on this side. Remove this tape backing and glue that all the way down. That's all we need to do to this end. I'm not going to remove it all the way down because we still need to tuck in another piece. But I don't want it to move on me. So what I'm doing is removing that backing, at least putting it to where I can pull down, pull it out, and it'll start to, you know, come off, and then you can, you know, fully remove it. All right, guys, there we go. I didn't remove it all the way because we still need the bottom, okay? So I didn't remove it all the way because we still need this to stay open, okay? So now we're going to take our 3 3/4 by 3, and we are going to take a piece of the cardstock that we had from this cover, and we're going to cut it at 4 by 4 3/4, okay? What we're going to do with this one is we're going to glue this down to this. Okay, so after we cover the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out these 2 squares, and then these are going to be a little different. Again, we're going to tuck those in. So I have measured from the chipboard to 3/4, because that's how much this 1/2 inch is going to be what comes out. So just put a little tick mark on 3 1/4. I'm sorry, I don't think I said 3/4, and then put another little mark at 3 1/4. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're just going to make a little flap right here, okay? Just cut up to that little line right there, or that little mark, okay? And then I'm going to, and I'm going to go ahead and cut right there. I'm going to cut right there, okay? And we're going to cut this corner as well. Okay, so we're going to glue this down this way. We're going to glue this bottom flap up, okay? So let's glue that down. Okay, there we go. These are the sides that we're going to tuck into the box, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue this down, okay? This is the part that is going to go right here, okay? So you want that one nice and pretty as well. So we're going to glue, you have to make sure it's an exact match, and it looks like mine comes out just a little bit, so I'm going to trim that down just a tad bit. Okay guys, I have my DSP glued down. Now what I'm going to do a dry fit, okay? So it's going to go glued down right there, and then we'll pull out the backing of the double-sided tape and then burnish that down, okay? So before I glue that in, what I am going to do is I'm going to pull. Okay guys, so I had to go ahead and take off the backing because I glued a little too close to it, but it'll still work. We're going to put glue on both sides and then put it in here, make sure it's adhered, and then burnish that down. So let me put glue on both sides. That way it'll give us time to move it around. Since I took the tape off of the double-sided, I took the backing off the double-sided tape, I'm going to go ahead and put glue on both sides. Okay, so I have glue on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here. All right guys, and I'm gonna take my bone folder and I'm gonna push down on the sides. There we go guys. All that's left to do is put this piece in right there. So it is complete. It looks good in and out. We have burnished everything, make sure everything adhered well. So let's go ahead and put glue on the inside. And what I'm going to do to this one, this is going to have glue all the way around, but I'm going to put it as close as I can to this end that doesn't have that overlapping piece right there. So I'm going to put that right there. Okay, this is the end that is adhered. Okay, all right guys, I got my piece glued in there. So now we're going to work on the lid. Okay, you are going to need a piece that's 7 1/8 by 7 3/8. Okay, so I apologize guys, I thought I had the same, I thought I had another one of these and I don't, so it's off a little bit, but we're going to continue. So for this one we are going to score at 1 inch and 2 inches. Okay, so you're gonna do that on all 4 sides, but you have to turn your paper every time you score. So now what we're going to do is we are going to cut, let me see, it doesn't matter which side, but I like to do it on the longer side. Okay, so we're going to cut, I'm going to cut on the short side, so the long side is here. I'm going to cut all the way down the middle of the score line, past the first one up to the second one. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to cut this one completely off, sorry, cut these first 2 squares off, cut the second one off, and there we go. So we're going to do the same on 2 sides. Cut. I'm going to cut the outer 2 squares out, and then this one we're going to go ahead and just cut 1 square off. So this is what you have so far. We're going to repeat the process on the other side. So this is what we have. Now I'm going to miter these are tabs, so I'm going to miter these just a little bit so I don't get any kind of hang-ups anywhere. But don't miter the longer ones right here, the wider ones. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to assemble this. So what we're going to do is burnish our fold lines or our score lines. Okay guys, I'm gonna fold this up so you can see what we're doing here. So we're gonna glue our tabs down right here. We're gonna glue right there. We're gonna glue right here, making sure that our corners are nice and straight. Okay guys, once your tabs are glued down nicely, we're just going to take these side flaps, fold them in, and glue those down all the way around. Okay, that makes for a nice sturdy lid. All right guys, we have our lid made. Which one do I use? Alright guys, I have finished embellishing my box, and this is what the top looks like. I went ahead and I used the foam for the top, and I just covered the foam. I put gold on the edges and then the paper on the top, as you can see there. So the edges are gold, and then I covered it with paper on the top. And then I did use another finial, but I went ahead and painted it pink. And then one of these glitter balls, a little cluster of flowers, the bow, some leaves, and I tucked in some little gold balls. You know, some of that filler you can get at Hobby Lobby, and I used a pearl right here. So I just, you know, put that on the top, and around the lid of the box, I just put some pearls. And I don't think I showed you my matting. I used the same gold paper for a very tiny little border because I didn't want it like super gold and shiny. And then I used the paper, the Blue Fern Studio paper that I was using, and I did the same for the lid, the top, and on the bottom I just went ahead and took some of those wooden beads and I painted them pink, and I used those as feet. And I did go ahead and cover the bottom. I think I had told you guys I wasn't going to cover the bottom. And then this is the other side, and this is the back. This is a nesting die set that I have in my stash, and I cut the word T and I glued it on there. I popped this top one up on dimension, and then I put some trim on the side, and then I have spoons, these clear little spoons, and it kind of got lost, you know, if I had put it in there just like that. So I went around it with the gold paint pen. I put a bow in the center with a flower, and then I put a cluster of flowers here, and I tucked in, you know, white pom-poms and some gold filler. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty cute. And then your tea, you just take your tea out of your little container. Of course, I'm holding it at an angle, so it's kind of going back on me. But there you go. And then your next one is ready to go. And there we go. I just absolutely love the way this turned out. I've seen them, I just didn't have any measurements, and of course, you know, I had to work that out. So it took me a minute to make this, but overall, I think it turned out really, really cute. I really enjoyed making this. And I know putting the bottom in there is a little tricky, the you know, connecting this, but in the end, it saves you so much time, you know, having to go back and try to cover everything properly, and some things don't fit. But I like the way it turned out, and the bottom looks good. I wanted it to look good all the way around. So, you know, I think it looks good like that. I will make another one, and I will do the same process, just because I think it's not hard. It's easy. Once you get those little flaps tucked in there, you know, you're pretty much done with the inside, and you just have to worry about the outside, you know, covering it up. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will talk to everyone later. Y'all have a great day. Thanks a lot, guys.